Digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions.
What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Metalgarurumon, the original Designers Edition. This is, of course, Metagarurumon from Digimon, in case you did not know. And I just finished watching the first season, and I was really excited when I saw he was going up on sale. Just had to pick him and Wargreymon up. On the side we have a nice image of Wargreymon. This is the actual figure. An interesting thing to note is that unlike most SH Figuarts, there is no open window box to this figure. You would get an artwork of Metagarurumon. On the sides we still get a nice image of Metagarurumon, but there is no window displaying the figure, which is kind of disappointing, but at the same time, it's nothing I'm going to lose sleep over. Actually, yes, I almost didn't order him because of that, but that's not the point. The point is, I have him in package. On the back, we do have a read-up of him, but I can't read that. The same image that we saw on the front, which is drawn, not the actual figure. And it also shows some optional parts for him, so that's always good. What I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed, and move on to the rest of the review, so sit tight, everyone. And so here we have Metagarurumon posing out of the packaging. Now let's get a good 360 of him. Right off the bat, I'm going to say he is very different from any other figure I have had the pleasure of dealing with, and the main reason I say that is, most of the time when I review a figure, it's a bipedal character, like they're standing on two legs, it's a humanoid. This is probably the first quadruped-like animal that I'm actually reviewing on my channel, so his articulation is a little lackluster, but at the same time it fits what he is. He's not, like, the articulation works, although I think the head joint could have been a little better with the neck joint, but overall it's different from what I'm normally used to. But anyway, before we get on to the figure himself, he did come with a few accessories. Now let's get this one out of the way first. The Ice Wolf Claw. I don't know why it's called the Ice Wolf Claw. Doesn't look a thing like a claw. You can see it is a translucent blue with white frosting on it. The white frosting does carry over onto the burst, so that's pretty neat. The only problem I have with this is it's really sharp and pointy, and it feels really brittle, especially at the burst, so be careful handling this. You're gonna either hurt yourself or break a piece off, and then it's even more problematic than what it's really worth. But as you can see, it does have a little notch right there, or a tab here, and inside his mouth he does have a little notch, if I can get that on camera. And what you're basically going to do is open his mouth as much as you can without popping his jaw off, which I have already done, and let's see if I can't do this on camera. But you're going to open his mouth where that tab is. You're going to line it up and gingerly put it in, and I say gingerly because you don't want to get your fingers caught on one of the bursts or break off one of the spines. Okay, and that's what you're left with, and it looks pretty nice. It doesn't look out of place. It looks pretty cool. Looks like he's actually shooting it out of his mouth, which is a good thing. That it doesn't look like it's just plastered in there. And to take it off, you just gently wiggle it out. Be careful once again dealing with the tips of this, because you don't want to break it. He does come with these attachments you can put onto his wings. What you do is you just detach there, and they're not keyed, so you don't have to like figure out which one's the left and which one's the right, because they both fit in the same peg normally, and they do give him this nice effect like he's dashing at his enemies, especially when you spread them out like this and it's all, but really cool. I like that. Tabbing those off, and if you want to change them out, it's as simple as just pulling them out and then putting them back in. easy peasy. It's not that difficult. But then he also does come with this missile, which, as you can see, it's sculpted into his chest, but he has a chest piece. And what you're going to want to do is take your fingernail and find a way to get in there. Okay. Pull that out, and then you can attach it. It is keyed. This one is keyed, so be aware that the two tabs go into the rectangle. And I just dropped it. And the line goes into the line. And then when you tab it in, it should look like this. So you can have him pose shooting his little missile at something. Which, that's not the way I'm going to have him pose, but at least they gave us the option. And it's easier taking off because you just grab the little missile head, take that off, line up your part, and tab that back in. Very nice. Moving those off to the side, the final accessory he comes with is this clear piece. If you don't know what this piece is, it's basically just to hold him up like this. And you tab this. This has a little peg hole in it, so you just tab in a clear peg stand into it, and you can get him into more flying poses. And I'll probably show that on my final thoughts, but you get the idea. You put this underneath him, and you can put him on a display stand, which will look really nice. I haven't tried it yet. So I might do that at the end of the video. I might do it for the thumbnail. I don't know yet. But anyway, let's go into some of his detail, because he has quite a bit of details. Okay, let's zoom into his face first of all. Really, really nice. You can see where his whiskers would be. There's these little red dots. I'm going to assume they're sensors. You can see all the intricate panels on him. It says 01 on the side of his head. You can see all the spikes and wires, the gold. It's painted nicely. It's just really hard to show you stuff without like something getting in the way just because of his design. Because he has the red on his ankles, the stripes on his leg, even stripes on his toes. Even on his front paws, you can see the stripes do carry over. And the original design, I think, is more accurate to his actual color scheme. He even has stripes painted on the armor, which is nice. Those really piercing eyes that... Oh, he's one scary looking monster, and I'm just glad he's on the Digidestined side. But anyway, let's go into his articulation, because he has quite a bit for being a quadruped. He does have an articulated jaw, which it does hinge up and down, and it moves at both the top and the bottom jaw, so you don't have to like be worrying about, oh, the bottom jaw stuck. No, you can just move the top jaw or the bottom one to your desire. He also does spin at the neck. He has 3 places where the neck moves. He has this piece right here. Let's see if I can't show that. Oh, he also hinges at the head. I believe he's ball jointed in 3 places at the neck. You have this part here, here, and inside. I wish that they had designed it a little better to get his head looking straight with his neck up a little, but what are you going to do? His wings can move up and down, like so. And if they just peg in like that, they swivel and have a hinge. His rockets, I'm going to assume these are rockets. Well, they were rockets in the anime. They hinge back and forth. They also swivel side to side a little. But when you swivel them side to side, it depends on how you have them, because having them back like that, they swivel this way, like so. His front legs on a ball joint, you can see them moving all around. They move back and forth. He has a lot of kibble, so be aware of that you're going to have to move stuff around to get him posed the way you want him. But yeah, his legs are forward, back, and out to about that far. He has a hinge in the elbow part of it. I'm going to say the elbow part of his leg. And then, like Greymon, whoop, not supposed to be pulling his joints off like that, but you can tug on this slightly to give him more. If you pull too much, you just saw I pull his foot out of socket. But it pops right back in via ball joint. And if you can move it down without pulling it off, you get some slight side-to-side rocker movement on it. You have a hinge, which works really nicely. And then he also has a toe hinge, which goes up and down. So, nice articulation. So we'll move on to his torso, where he has a ball joint in the upper torso. So you can get him to crunch like this, side to side, and he spins at the torso. His lower torso, same thing, ball joint, so you can get some side to side, up and down. You know, you can get him to be crunched like this, like he's flying at something. Then you get his accessory stuck on your elbow. His hind legs also on a ball joint. You can see he gets a lot of range of movement in the back legs. Go forward, back, and out. I think they go out further just basically due to his shoulder muscles, and you can do whatever you want with that. I'm not going to do it his knees bend, although I think it would have been nice if they bent back a little more. And same thing with his hind legs. You get a ball joint here, which allows for side-to-side movement, and a really nice range of motion for his ankle. You get a hinge up and down, side-to-side, spins, and again, toe hinge, but it works better going down. I think the hinge would have worked better if the toes hinge further upward, not down. But he also does have these little fans, I'm going to guess they are, at the bottom of his paws. His tail is on a ball joint and has a hinge right here. And that is head-to-tail articulation for Metagarurumon. Now, what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get in pose for my final thoughts, and we'll wrap up this review, so sit tight, everyone. So, here we have Metagarurumon pose for my final thoughts, and overall, I think he's a really nice figure to add to your collection, especially if you're a fan of Digimon. He does lack some articulation, however, I'm willing to look past it because just of his design, he is more like a dog and less like a human, so you're not going to get any swiveling in like the bicep or the hind legs. You know, it's really different, but it works for the character. He doesn't do anything outrageous that, you know, he's not supposed to do, so I think that's pretty good. I do like the accessories he comes with, although I think the blast could have been done a little bit different, like maybe use like not so brittle of plastic, maybe have the tips a little softer. I don't know, one thing I will point out is that he has a lot of sharp points to him, so be careful when handling him. You don't want to accidentally poke yourself or break one of these off, because they're not flexible plastic, they are pretty sturdy. And he'll look good in your Digimon display, especially if you have Wargreymon, so you can have the two mega forms right next to each other. But anyway, tell me what you think of Metagarurumon. Do you like him? Do you hate him? What are your thoughts on the figure in general? Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, tell me what you think of the figure. Go ahead and check out all my other figure reviews. And once again, I'm King of Dragons 5000 saying I'll see you guys later. Take care, everyone.